The Story of Buddha, the life of Prince Siddhartha Gautama, complete. In the serene kingdom of Kapilavastu, nestled at the foothills of the Himalayas, a momentous event was about to unfold. Queen Maya, wife of King Suddhodana, had a dream of a white elephant entering her side, a sign of great significance. As the full moon rose, illuminating the royal garden of Lumbini, Queen Maya gave birth to a radiant baby boy. The air was filled with an inexplicable calm, and celestial beings were said to have descended to pay homage to the newborn. The child, named Siddhartha, meaning he who achieves his aim, was destined for greatness. His birth was marked by auspicious signs, hinting at an extraordinary future that would change the course of history. As Siddhartha grew, his charm and grace captivated everyone around him. Sages and seers visited the palace, and one in particular, the wise ascetic Asita, made a profound prophecy. Gazing at the young prince, Asita declared that Siddhartha would either become a great monarch, uniting all under his rule, or renounce worldly life to become a spiritual leader who would bring enlightenment to humanity. King Suddhodana, eager for his son to continue the royal lineage, was determined to steer Siddhartha towards a life of power and kingship, ensuring he remained oblivious to the sorrows of the world. In an effort to fulfill the prophecy in favor of a worldly ruler, King Suddhodana created a world of opulence and pleasure within the palace walls. Siddhartha was surrounded by the finest luxuries, exquisite palaces, fragrant gardens, and every conceivable delight. Music, dance, and scholarly pursuits filled his days, and every need was met without question. The young prince excelled in his studies and training, proving himself to be a paragon of virtue and skill. Yet, despite the comfort and splendor, an inexplicable sense of curiosity and restlessness grew within Siddhartha, as if an unseen destiny was calling out to him. As Siddhartha approached adulthood, his longing to explore the world beyond the palace became irresistible. One day, he persuaded his charioteer, Channa, to take him on a series of excursions outside the palace gates. It was during these outings that Siddhartha encountered the stark realities of life that had been carefully hidden from him. On the first trip, he saw an old man, frail and bent with age, a vision that shocked him with the inevitability of aging. On the second, he came across a sick person, writhing in pain, revealing the suffering inherent in illness. The third encounter was with a funeral procession, where he saw a lifeless body, bringing him face to face with the certainty of death. The final encounter was with a serene ascetic, who seemed to be at peace, despite having renounced all worldly possessions. These experiences profoundly affected Siddhartha, planting the seeds of a quest that would soon transform his life forever. Disturbed by the suffering he had witnessed, Siddhartha made a momentous decision. One night, he silently bid farewell to his sleeping wife, Yasodhara, and their newborn son, Rahula. Accompanied by Channa, Siddhartha rode his horse, Kantaka, to the edge of the palace grounds. There, he exchanged his princely garments for the simple robes of an ascetic. Leaving behind his royal identity, Siddhartha embraced a life of wandering and seeking, determined to uncover the truth about suffering and the path to its end. Siddhartha's quest led him to join a group of ascetics who believed that extreme self-denial was the key to spiritual awakening. For 6 years, he subjected himself to rigorous fasting, intense meditation, and severe physical deprivation. His body grew emaciated, but his mind remained resolute. Despite the austerities, Siddhartha did not find the enlightenment he sought. Instead, he realized that such extreme practices only brought him closer to death, not to the truth. This realization marked a pivotal moment in his journey, pushing him to reconsider his approach. Abandoning the path of severe asceticism, Siddhartha understood that neither extreme indulgence nor extreme deprivation would lead to enlightenment. He discovered the middle way, a balanced approach that avoids both extremes. He began to eat nutritious food to regain his strength, accepting a bowl of rice milk from a village girl named Sujata. His fellow ascetics, seeing this, abandoned him, believing he had forsaken his quest. However, Siddhartha remained steadfast, convinced that this new path would guide him to the truth. Determined and focused, Siddhartha made his way to Bodh Gaya and sat beneath a large fig tree, known as the Bodhi tree. He vowed not to rise until he had attained enlightenment. Deep in meditation, he faced numerous challenges and temptations, both internal and external. Mara, the Lord of Illusion, tried to distract him with fear, desire, and doubt. But Siddhartha remained unwavering. Through the long night, he delved deeper into his mind, uncovering profound insights about the nature of existence, suffering, and the path to liberation. As dawn broke, Siddhartha's mind cleared, and he experienced the ultimate realization. He had become the Buddha, the awakened one, fully enlightened and free from the cycle of suffering and rebirth. In the early morning light, as the stars faded and the first rays of the sun touched the earth, Siddhartha Gautama attained supreme enlightenment. He realized the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the path leading to its cessation. He also comprehended the profound insight of the Eightfold Path, which guides individuals toward ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. The moment of enlightenment was profound and transformative. Siddhartha had become the Buddha, the awakened one. His mind was free from ignorance, hatred, and desire, and he had found the ultimate liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. With newfound wisdom, the Buddha pondered whether to share his insights with the world. Realizing the depth of his understanding, he wondered if anyone would grasp the truths he had discovered. However, his compassion for all living beings prevailed. He traveled to the deer park in Sarnath, where he found his former companions, the 5 ascetics who had abandoned him. There, he delivered his first sermon, setting in motion the wheel of Dharma. He taught them the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, offering a clear path to overcome suffering and attain enlightenment. The 5 ascetics became his first disciples, and the Sangha, the community of monks, was established. For the next 45 years, the Buddha journeyed across the plains of India, spreading his teachings far and wide. His words resonated with people from all walks of life, from kings and nobles to peasants and outcasts. The Buddha's message of compassion, nonviolence, and the pursuit of wisdom attracted a diverse following. He taught through parables and practical advice, addressing the specific needs and capacities of his listeners. His disciples grew in number, forming a robust monastic community dedicated to preserving and practicing his teachings. The Sangha served as a living example of the middle way, embodying the principles of ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. As he reached the age of 80, the Buddha sensed that his time on earth was drawing to a close. He continued to teach and guide his disciples with unwavering dedication. One day, after eating a meal offered by a humble blacksmith named Kunda, the Buddha fell gravely ill. Knowing his end was near, he traveled to Kushinagar and lay between 2 sal trees. There, surrounded by his disciples, he gave his final teachings, emphasizing the impermanence of all things and urging them to strive with diligence in their practice. With serene composure, the Buddha entered parinirvana, passing away and leaving his physical form behind. His legacy of wisdom and compassion endured, guiding countless souls towards enlightenment and liberation. The story of Prince Siddhartha, who became the Buddha, is a timeless testament to the power of perseverance, compassion, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Remember, the path to enlightenment and true happiness lies within each of us, waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the life of the Buddha. If you found inspiration in this story, I invite you to explore more tales of inspiration and overcoming challenges available on my YouTube channel. Together, let's continue to learn, grow, and find the strength to transform our lives and the world around us.